Hi, and welcome to your English grammar lesson. Now, today we are going to continue talking about comparing nouns with adjectives. But today we're going to look at the adjectives good and bad. We're going to see how we change these adjectives to show two nouns being compared and one noun versus everything. Okay? Now our learning goals for today are to learn about these special adjectives and just how do we change them? How do we use them correctly? Okay. Now an adjective describes a noun and there are 6 ways to conjugate them. But some adjectives don't follow those 6 rules, right? Some have special forms. It's not bad, really. It's good and bad. Yeah. Oh. Good and bad have these special forms. So when we look at comparative adjectives and superlative adjective forms, we can see it right here in this chart, okay? Good is just a general thing. This is good. But if we compare two nouns, we say better. This is better than this. Okay, and if it's one versus all, we say that this is the best of all of them, right? Now, if we're talking about the negative, we say it's bad, okay? This is bad. But if we compare two, we say this is worse than that. And if we compare one versus all, we say that this is the worst. The worst. The worst. When we compare two nouns in a positive way, we use better. And when we use the negative, we use worse. So let's try that with a sample. Our subject here is cleaning spray, and our adjective is good. Now we're going to compare two nouns. Let's look at this. The green cleaning spray, because that's our subject, the green cleaning spray, what? Is better. It's better than the purple one. See how she took the green one? She said, ooh, this is the winner. This one is better. I don't want the purple one. This green one is better. So when we break it down, we say what? The green cleaning spray, what is better? How? How is it better than the purple cleaner? I got it. Okay. Now let's look at the opposite, the negative, right? Our subject is an investment, and our adjective is bad, but we're going to compare it for two nouns. Let's look at the answer here. This investment is worse than the last one. That means before I had an investment and it wasn't very good, but this one is more bad. It's worse. So when we break this sentence, we say what? This investment, what, is worse? How? How is it worse than the last one? Okay, so comparing two nouns with this isn't too bad, right? When we compare one noun against all others, for the positive we use best, and for the negative, right, we use worst. Let's try this one out. Our subject is medicine. Our adjective is bad, and it's one against all other nouns. So let's look at the sentence here. This is the worst tasting medicine of all. It's horrible. It tastes so bad. It's the worst one ever, right? Of all, it's the worst. So when we break it down, this is our subject, right? We're pointing at something, or you're in context. You understand what I'm talking about. This, what? Is the worst tasting medicine. How? Of all. Of all. It's just horrible. Now, if we take it to the opposite and we want to go for the positive route, let's look at this one. It says our subject is steak and our adjective is good. So one against all, right? Excuse me. This is the best steak I have ever eaten. It's delicious. It's number one. Nothing is better. It is the best. So when we break it down, what? This. See? Context. We can see what this is. So we can have a simple subject like this. This, what? Is the best steak, what? I have ever had. I've ever eaten. Sorry, I've ever eaten. Not so bad. That was pretty easy. See, a lot of you have used these adjectives already, and you didn't realize it was grammar. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. So how do we use good and bad? Well, there are two ways to use it to compare. Okay? First, when there are two nouns, we use better for more positive things and worse for more negative things. And when it is one noun against all others, we use best for a positive and we use worst for the negative. I feel like this lesson is much faster than usual, right? But that's okay. We have to see how the irregulars work. Now, it's time to practice. And yeah, I'm going to keep the same pattern that we did in the last one because it's still comparing with adjectives, right? We still have our comparative and our superlative form of adjective here, but they're irregular. They're just strange. So take a minute, pause the video, write your answers, and we will come back and check them, okay? Remember, leave them in a comment so that I can see what you did. Okay, pause the video now. That was long enough, and if you didn't pause the video, pause it now and get those answers done because we are going to answer them right now. There we go. Let's take a look at our answers here. Number 1, our seats were, past tense, better than they were last time. So maybe we just left the concert or just left the game, and this time our seats were way better than the first time we went. The last time was no good. This time the seats were better. Number 2, I have cooked a long time, but this was the worst burger I have ever made. It's number 1. It is just awful, terrible, disgusting. I made a mistake. I did a bad job. This was my worst one. Okay. Number 3. My friends liked going to the game best. Against all others. There's only one thing happening there. There's one noun we're comparing. One versus all. Best. Number 4. Every time I try, it gets better and better. Ooh, that was a tricky one, right? Every time that I try. We had 2 choices there. We couldn't have best. Best is 1. Ha, tricky, tricky. It had to be better and better. Right? Number 5. What is worse? We have a choice. What is worse? A snake or a bat? Right? We have 2 things. Compare 2 nouns. That's the comparative. Worse. Ugh. Probably a snake. Probably a snake. Number 6. This is a better car than we had last vacation. Oh, this time our car is better. It's last vacation, This vacation, our car was better. Was it the best? We don't know. But based on this sentence, it's better. Cool. I feel like this was a much faster lesson because honestly, most of you have been using good and bad and better and worse and best and worst. Yeah, you've been using them already. You just didn't think about them as comparative and superlative adjectives. And I don't blame you. When I was flipping through the book, I said, oh, I guess they are comparative and superlative. So hey, we both learned something today. I'll see you for the next lesson. Goodbye.